and he pulls up in a bright green tow truck. He hooks it on and drags it through the house, and then he goes, "Oh, looks like I'm gonna have to charge a refurbishing fee for this one."
Hi everyone, this is First In Alex. Welcome to the Real Gamerscore podcast. This week I'm joined by tag team time wasters Matt.
Howdy.
And Kirby.
Hey.
Here at Real Gamerscore we like to discuss all things Xbox, achievements and laundry. This week we talk about ID at Xbox making it rain, ship jumping from Twitch to Mixer, and rogue semantics, not the esports team. But first, here's the song of the week.
Watching every motion in this turn-based RPG. Play a multiplayer, trying to get the best of me. Moving all your units just to hit my flanking side. Watching in slow motion as you turn to me and say, "You just suck at games." Mm-hmm. That'll do.
That's really good. That's really good. Alright, another great song there from Matt. Thank you again. Well, just a reminder, we have got a competition for the Song of the Week. So if you do know what that song is, the title and artist is the answer you should send to the Real Gamerscore account on True Achievements. So that's Real Gamerscore, all one word, and there's a 5 in the place of the S in score. So Real Gamer 5 core. Okay. So send the answer to True Achievements. We'll enter you in the competition to get a code for something. What is it? $10 card?
I think it's basically $15 currency unless you live in the UK where it's going to be £10. Because
that's
of
worth
Brexit,
like $100
though.
Australian dollars.
Blame Brexit.
Oh yeah,
It's
That's
not
Brexit.
my fault. It's Boris Johnson's fault.
Oh god! Oh wow, you've just dated this podcast, so that's good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last week's song, if you didn't get it for whatever possible reason, was "Cat Falls Off Roof" by AWOL Nation. So, if you didn't send me "Cat Falls Off Roof" by AWOL Nation, I won't accept any of your answers. Because I assume with the amount of times the video was sent to me by people, that's just what the title of the song is. So,
We must have been wrong when we thought it was something different.
yeah, I assumed it was Sale, given that's what I looked up on Spotify when the song came on. Actually, it wasn't even Spotify. It was back when Pandora was still a thing in Australia.
Oh, yeah, Pandora.
Because I used to use Pandora, and then they're like, "Oh, we're not doing our services in Australia." And I'm like, "Oh, guess I'm going to have to use Spotify." Like, not that it was that big a deal, but I was like, "Oh, I had all my lovely settings and stuff set up in Pandora. Now I have to redo it all in Spotify." First world problems. So, have to find all of my specific music that I like again on another platform that I pay for to enjoy music without ads.
A platform you might be listening to this podcast on.
But you shouldn't be. You should be listening on Apple Podcasts if possible, because that is the king of podcast players, and you should review us there, because that's where it's going to make the biggest impact. But
we're doing the outro already. All right, nice one. That was a short show.
It's a short episode.
Yeah,
all
thanks
right.
for episode 65, guys. Yeah, just catch me at ChinDocta 1 on Twitch.
You know, the day I should actually check if ProfessorPluto's available, and then I find out that one of you two bananas has probably got it. All right, well, you can join us in Discord. We've got a new member this week, actually, joining in the Discord. So to do that, you can go and find the link at discord.io/realgamerscore. We did double check the link after someone said it wasn't working, and it seemed to be working as normal. But if for some reason you can't get in using that link, send one of us a private message. We'll generate a special link just for you, so you can get in and come chat with us.
If we get multiple reports of it not working, then we will investigate on that front. But maybe it was just an outage at the time that the person tried to use it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Sometimes Discord's a bit weird.
Yeah, it can be a bit funny. You can also find our Patreon page at patreon.com/realgamerscore. We've just been talking a little bit before the show about some Patreon exclusive content, so just tease it a little bit there, and probably not say enough yet, say any more than we need to, because
we teased this like 4 months ago.
We might have.
Yeah. Definitely, maybe.
Yeah. We have got a contest running, of course, for the random to-do list giveaway. It's getting towards the end of the month, so running out of time to get your answers in. But, Chin, what is the trivia question, and what are people playing for?
They are playing for Redeemer Enhanced Edition, and the trivia question is another game that is a something edition. So, it can't be Definitive Edition, because we won't allow that. That's too easy. There's plenty of other games out there with something edition in the title that isn't definitive that you can use. But yeah, no, take your pick. There's a bajillion to pick from. Some of them are funny. Funniest answer won't necessarily win, but I'll definitely laugh more for what it's worth. So
that's important. All right. So to do that, enter that as well, you also need to have earned one achievement in your random to-do list. I think you generated a random to-do list for a new member. Today or yesterday, was it?
Yesterday, yes, our new Discord member. I don't know their name. I don't know what it is.
Invisible.
You can't see it?
Indivisible.
Yeah.
Sure, indivisible. Sure, let's go with that. Invisible, so but it's
Therefore, they are 0. No, that's undefined. I can't remember. What is it? When is it divided by 0? Is it no? Undefined is when it does not cross the y-axis.
All right.
I can't remember.
This isn't a maths podcast, but you can feel free to start one if you like.
It's Patreon exclusive.
Okay. This is the Mats podcast. Welcome back to the Mats podcast. You said I could start a Mats podcast.
Make a Mats? Yeah,
we can do a podcast about me, I guess, but it's a bit weird considering I'm already on the show, and I'm very opinionated.
How are your nips?
I mean, so far so good. I mean, I haven't gotten them out like you guys do. Just a little behind the scenes there. This is the shirtless cast also.
Yeah, it's very hot. Alex is complaining, oh, it's so hot in Melbourne. Oh.
No, I didn't. I did not. I just said it was a bit warm.
It's so hot that I can't wear a shirt in recording. I'm like, was it? And I'm gonna do Celsius and Fahrenheit. Was it 45 or 120? Oh, he's gone. He took off his camera, so we don't. I was like, he left us. Yeah. It's 45 degrees with 95% humidity, is it, buddy? Oh, that's really unfortunate for you.
Alright, so other Patreon exclusive Weather Chat podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, we're going to go into the news, and we're going to start with the first news article because Chin is just being ridiculous. But Chin, you put this
Speaking of ridiculous, $1.2 billion in revenue has been paid to indies this generation. When I first read the title, what I actually read was Xbox has given $1.2 billion to indies. I was like, that's really weird that they do that. Now reading it again, the second time, with the words in there, makes a lot of sense. And that's specifically within the ID at Xbox programs. That's not necessarily indies that are just on the platform. For example, Ori and the Blind Forest kind of... It's kind of an indie, where they're backed by Microsoft. But yeah,
basically
Xbox, anything
is self-published, basically, right?
Yeah, anything's self-published or with ID at Xbox. And there's other weird things, like some games aren't ID at Xbox because the physical publisher is a real publisher. So the people that make the physical... So I think like a Samurai Showdown, the new one that came on Xbox, would be ID at Xbox if the people that weren't making the discs weren't an actual publisher and not going through... Like, I think it's whoever does it, not Capcom or whatever, but like that type of publisher actually doing the discs, and then digitally they're going through ID. It's weird. But In an interview with Kotaku, the ID at Xbox director Chris Charla said we've paid more than 1.2 US billion, that's 1.7 Australian billion, or like 1,200 billion New Zealand.
Yeah, no, something like that.
And
yeah, I mean, look.
It's
When I get
three
paid,
flocks of sheep.
when I get paid, I just put the money in the wheelbarrow and I run down to the street as quickly as I can to get as much bread off the shelf as possible before the inflation changes again.
Whoa! Why are you throwing back to that era, Matt? Jeez.
So Charles continued saying, that it's a great opportunity for indie developers. It's opened a lot of doors and lowered a lot of the requirements and barriers to entry. Originally, he said it was just 2 or 3 people in a 3x3 meter room, which probably gets a lot hotter than Melbourne this time of year. But that's...
No, they're in Silicon Valley. Everything's cooled, man. Everything's got to be cooled.
Liquid cooling rooms.
Yeah, it's fine. No problem.
Custom liquid cooling.
Vape chambers.
So, and just basically that the independent studios approaching them aren't necessarily the one person projects anymore. It's, they've been approached by teams with 30 people, but they may not have that financial backing to publish on a broader scale, or they're doing bigger games and just want to have some security type deal. So yeah, they put out almost 400 titles in 2018 alone. They're over 1,000 titles on ID at Xbox in general, and it's my favorite section of the Xbox library for the most part. I mean, there is some trash, but the ratio of gems to trash is probably a bit higher than in the AAA sector, in my opinion.
Ooh, yeah. I don't know. I mean, ratio-wise, it's a little difficult to comprehend, but I mean, I'm really glad that this has happened, because I know the 360 was notorious for having an absolute pain to get through for its certification process, and to get anything published, you had to have a publisher. You had to go to Microsoft.
That was going to be my point as well. It's come a far way. I mean, it's often criticised, often easy to criticise big companies for like, oh, they don't listen. Well, they heard the message loud and clear after the Xbox 360 generation, by the sounds of it. If they've given away that much in game sales to studios, Microsoft have been listening. The other thing I thought as well is, whenever you see online someone who's a PlayStation fan is like, oh, Xbox has got no games. Like, really? Are you sure about that? Because there's a hell of a lot of games that have been released here, and that's a hell of a lot of money to be paying to them for their games. So someone's buying them, and it's not just the 3 of us.
I mean, we definitely make up a large chunk of those sales, for sure.
We do.
But
yeah. I think it's very heartening that it seems that there's the support there that you need, because if you're there to, as a small studio, to make games, you've got your project leads, and you've got your level designers and your artists and these kind of things. Someone else has to put on that hat for marketing and distribution as well. And it seems like ID at Xbox is available to help with that. To take one less thing out of your hair in terms of getting your game out onto the market. So I think it's a really positive thing to have ID at Xbox in our corner.
Yep, ID at Xbox good. And it'll be good going forward as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shows no sign of slowing down, right?
Yeah.
Not as long as Radalaka exists. Really?
Yeah.
What more do we need in the world?
We need them to bring out more than one game per week so we can spend all our time on Radalaka.
But between them and sometimes you, I think I've got most of my games covered. 2020 is all planned out.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll move over to our next article here. So, Chin, you bought this one as well. It's about Shroud joining Ninja over on Mixer.
Yes. That's basically it. that's the story. Thanks, buddy.
Okay.
Nice.
That's what it sounded like to me, and I was like, okay, cool.
Shroud, so for me, this is a bigger story than Ninja. Ninja is has a very big, and I don't want to use this term, but I kind of like it's a very casual in the terms of standard, normal, less extreme audience. So like people that are not necessarily obsessed with watching streaming and would just want to happy to just put something on, or even kids are more than likely to watch Ninja because that's like it's easy to watch, it's fun content, that sort of thing. Shroud has a lot more competitive content. He's a former professional CS:GO player. He has performed at high level in Apex Legends. I'm pretty sure he did Overwatch stuff really early on in when they were doing the professional stuff. But he's generally a more competitive player and he's been around for a while as well, so he has a lot of insight into how games, like the reasoning behind stuff happening in games and stuff like that. I think his audience that he brings over it's very different to the audience that Ninja has brought over.
Which is what Microsoft wants.
Yeah, they're clearly diversifying as much as possible, because another I saw on Twitter, someone else I watched on Twitch, who has now made the permanent move to Mixer, and has sort of partnered with Mixer and Xbox behind the scenes a little bit to grow Mixer and stuff like that, grow the platform and stuff, is King Gathalion. He's a very big Destiny 2 streamer and does Warframe as well, but he's a really big community builder. So he sort of worked with Twitch a bit on how to, show sort of some of the hidden gems that were streaming that weren't necessarily being unearthed, and how to find, these talented people that were streaming, but, because Twitch is a million little fish in a gigantic pond, it's hard to necessarily find them. So I think alongside his audience, his ability to build communities and to build platforms can only enhance Mixer in my eyes. What he'll bring to the table and his experience doing that, I think is a huge for Mixer. And not that Xbox had no idea what they were doing before, but it's easier to say it from an outside perspective than to actually be doing it and experience it and know, yeah, okay, I can see why you would say that, but that's probably not going to work because of these reasons, and or this would work better. It might cost a little bit more to develop it, but this would work 20 times better than what you're thinking, that sort of stuff. So this was mainly just because it's clear that Microsoft is making a push with Mixer now. That and whether this has more integration with Scarlet and it's easier to go down that route as well, I'm not sure. We'll have to see, but
it would make sense though.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a lot more of a seamless transition from just playing the game on Scarlet to playing and streaming to watching a stream side by side with you playing, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, they wouldn't be dropping this kind of money if they weren't planning on pushing forward with it and really taking Twitch to task. Because it's always been an uphill battle for them.
Yeah, it's Twitch is the Steam of the streaming world. It's the big guy who doesn't I mean, they haven't done as poorly as Steam has in general, but they haven't needed to really adapt to any competition or anything. Like, they could just continue existing and just grow through sheer existence. So these are big moves, in my opinion, from Mixer, and bigger than Ninja for me, just in terms of what they're bringing to the table.
So I just had a quick look through the comments. I don't really have much to add to this because I don't watch Shroud or whoever the other person was that you said. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not a big stream watcher, but my contribution to this discussion is at the bottom of the first page in the comments on this True Achievement articles. Someone has written their first comment at 6:07 and said, "Yeah, awesome," and then at 6:08, "Any way to remove Mixer?" The same person. So I don't know. I think they're a little bit confused. I don't really know.
Okay.
They want to put a shroud over the entire part of the Xbox.
No.
Do you feel on the current dashboard that they're not including the Mixer tab? We're not worrying about the Mixer tab because that's clearly going to be a lot of Mixer stuff. Do you feel what they're putting on that front home dashboard is intrusive? The Mixer stuff that they're putting, which is generally usually just that pin.
It's like one tile, isn't it?
Yeah.
One tile.
See
it's only
who's
sometimes.
See who's online. It's like a scrolling ad, which also has other things in its place. Like I get, close to getting this achievement there, or this is a rare achievement in this game, and sometimes it says Mixer for me.
Do you feel like that's intrusive?
Not really.
I mean, I kind of wish I could turn it off, but realistically, I mean, to be fair, I'm not a fan of having ads at all on my dashboard for a service that I pay for.
Yes.
But, I mean, the thing is, I have literally no interest in streaming whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, at least from a personal standpoint, I don't watch streams or anything. I'm interested from an industry perspective and an integration perspective on how the industry goes and what direction streaming has in it. But for myself, I mean, I'd gladly just turn the whole thing off if I could.
Yep. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah,
I'm indifferent. I'm just like, whatever. It's there or it's not there. I don't really care. I don't click it. The only time I really watch a stream is when I'm doing the ironing. Just got to iron my work shirts for the week. Mm-hmm. So, every couple of weeks when I do a big load of ironing, just before you try and turn that into something chin, I'll chuck on a stream of someone who's pretty good at Rocket League, usually Rocket League. And
do you have a sorry.
A what?
Apparently something unplugged itself and plugged itself back in. Just confused me, scared me. Do you have a big basket that you put all your laundry into iron, or do you have a box that you put your big load into?
Now, are you watching one of those female streamers, the really popular ones, while you're doing your big load, or is it?
Nope. It's interesting.
Do you watch the Just Dance female streamers?
There are Just Dance female streamers.
Yeah.
Were you watching when those Korean ladies got banned? Was that the stream you were looking at, or?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't know if he was on that episode.
No, I don't think he was he? Damn it.
Now we know why.
There was one stream.
He was taking himself off all media in support of their ban. Well, supporting them against their ban. He wasn't in support of their ban because he was busy watching them with his big load of laundry.
There's a joke that I can't make because it'd have to be cut.
Oh, you can make it, buddy. You can do whatever you want.
It'll get cut. All right. Best move on. Then we're talking about big loads. All right, any more on that before we move on? Any more roasting coming my way?
No, I think with this push with Mixer, it will also bring improvements to the technology that it's going to go both ways. It's going to go streaming from console, watching it on your console, streaming with xCloud. All that stuff is fairly well integrated and fairly similar, and it can only improve that.
Yeah, the more that goes into it, the more that people are interested, the more money that's involved in it, the better the technology is going to get.
Yeah. You wouldn't invest all this money to have it just flounder.
Do you think...
Not usually.
...that Mixer will take, in terms of time spent and users, do you think that Mixer will overtake Twitch?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Never?
At least not in this generation. Without without something horrible happening to Twitch, no. There has to be some horrible big scandal or controversy, or something has to go horribly wrong at Twitch. Yeah.
Embezzling, something ridiculous. It would have to be like a major catastrophic thing for Twitch to fall over at this point. I mean, not saying it couldn't happen. We are in the .com thing does happen occasionally where businesses are overinvested. We hit a recession, suddenly they can't afford to have streamers, can't afford to to pay them, and the rates go down, and suddenly everyone leaves. But I don't. The thing is, I think that anything that would affect Twitch in that kind of way would also affect Mixer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't see them independent of one another if something's going to take down Twitch.
I don't know. I as much as I'm not really that interested in either, I think maybe one day it could. I don't really know what I base that on. I feel like Mixer's making a lot more moves than Twitch is.
For sure.
I feel like you see something new added to Mixer a lot more regularly than I hear about something new being added to Twitch.
Yeah, the problem is a lot of it is catching up to where Twitch is at already as well.
Exactly. Yeah, and Microsoft have to make those moves to stay competitive, even if it's new features. They're on the back foot, so they need to be the ones pushing the innovation.
Like their low latency stuff. Twitch saw that and went, okay, yeah, we can do that. So now Twitch, I don't know if it's as good as Mixer or better, but they also have a low latency setting for streaming, so you can stream with low latency on Twitch.
That's the problem with being in an industry like this, where their competitive advantages are so hard to hold on to, because you have, a huge like Twitch and Microsoft have a lot of money to throw at this kind of stuff, and they got big development teams that can just, as soon as a good feature comes out, they're completely shameless, which they should be. The consumers should get the best product no matter where they go. I guess the question is going to be, what makes you want to stream on one platform over another?
I think probably the only discernible difference for me, I would pick Mixer, but I just have a general, I don't even know if it's really real, maybe it's just my perception, but I think generally the communities and users are more friendly and respectful on Mixer. My perception of Twitch is always, those big streamers that have the chat scrolling past so fast you can't even read all the messages. And the ones that you can read are just saying the most obscene things that you've ever seen.
Yeah.
When I think of Twitch, that's what I think of. And I know that's obviously a very unfair thought, but I've seen it and it happens. And I also hear and read on Twitter a lot about Mixer being a lot more of a friendly community. But I mean, again, that's just my 2 cents on it. I don't know if either of those things are actually factual, but that's just, like I said, just my perception. All right. So, Chin, you bought this one as well. It's about Ubisoft.
I did. It's just not, things not going right with Ubisoft. Yeah. So,
what are you talking about? Ubisoft, they make that game, right? That one game?
Yeah, again and again and again and again and again with different
settings. Are you saying after the 20th re-release of the same game with a different skin on it, people are getting tired of it?
No. Yeah, because the game hasn't changed, but the money that they're asking for has.
Right.
No. Ubisoft had 3 big titles that they were sort of expecting to come out either, I think, early 2020, first half of 2020. Gods and Monsters, who were it was being made by the Assassin's Creed Odyssey developers. How they had time to do that in between their 1,700 DLC packs, I don't know. But Watch Dogs Legion and Rainbow Six Quarantine, which I'd never heard of until now, but apparently was a thing and it was announced.
It was at E3, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was that the I thought that was the zombies mode for Rainbow Six Siege.
That's kind of what it is. Like that was
Okay.
that was kind of what they're going for. But it looks like it looked like it was going to be a different mode, but apparently it's a completely different game.
Yeah. So they have delayed those titles to the second half of 2020 due to they're saying due to a very disappointing financial quarter because of how poorly Ghost Recon Breakpoint and to a lesser extent the Division 2 did. They've also said it will help with next generation optimizations. Which
is yeah. I mean, it does sound a bit like corporate speak, but there may be a grain of truth to that.
Yeah, but then the thinking is why even plan to bring it out early 2020? Again, why have 3 games coming out at that part of the year when you know that consoles are coming out holidays? 6 months later?
Did they announce these games and their release dates before the consoles were announced?
Ubisoft's conference is after Microsoft's.
Yeah, but to be fair, that they would have known about the Scarlet stuff well before it because
Yeah.
they're already developing things for it.
Yeah, okay. Because it got me thinking as well. Gods and Monsters that's been in the works for a while, hasn't it?
I think you might.
Maybe I'm thinking of that pirate game.
Bones.
Oh no, yeah, you're thinking of
Is that Skull and Bones
Skull
or
and
something?
Is
Bones.
that Ubisoft as well? That's not Ubisoft,
Yes,
is it?
yeah, that is. It's that's Ubisoft Singapore.
So
they-
pirate, like
Singapore's not a
pirate
real
game,
place.
isn't
Yeah, well, you don't let them don't let them hear you say that. Yeah, so I think the Gods and Monsters. We only saw a
You mean
trailer
Chinese
for it.
Singapore, right?
God, I can already.
You're
I
the
can
only
already
one that
hear
can
the
get
lashes.
away with that.
It's not racist, it's just mean.
If one of the white guys on the podcast says it, though, different
Yeah.
story.
Oh, lynch ya. Sorry, Matt, I did interrupt you completely.
I was just going to say, so which ones are the gods, which ones are the monsters? So
Well, his name is Guillemot. Is the monster. Guillemot.
yeah. I remember when they were talking about this because I remember they showed the trailer at E3 and it was just like a cinematic trailer. They didn't really show anything. Apparently, they had a behind closed doors like walkthrough of it, like a showcase. Mm-hmm. But I mean, this game looked like it was really early in development because I mean, Odyssey had just come out. Realistically,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, they can afford big development teams with all their booster packs and microtransactions. But yeah, I was surprised that they were planning on releasing this, early 2020. I was thinking this would be a next gen thing for sure.
You're
Yeah.
just ahead of the curve.
And that...
I mean,
Hold up. Sorry, that they've said it is got nothing to do with Cyberpunk 2077, though.
it's funny
I
that they
mean-
mentioned it though.
Yeah. He stressed multiple times on the call that none of the decisions related to the incoming release of Cyberpunk 2077. Just trying to see, because they then mentioned 5 games coming out within a short time span. I think
Well, it'll
they're
be a new
also
Assassin's Creed.
the Assassin's Creed Vikings, and
One other. What
the
about?
article mentions Splinter Cell.
Yeah, Splinter Cell might be. What about what's the other one? Beyond Good and Evil. We haven't heard anything from that in a while.
Right, that's a game. I was
Yeah.
really looking forward to that game until
I
the
saw it.
last couple Ubisoft
Yeah.
titles were released, and I went, well, I already know how it's going to play,
Yeah, a live
And-
service for sure.
so I don't, Beyond Good and Evil was such a good title.
Yeah, I love that game.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it kind of makes sense because I think part of it is that you need to get. They run on, like most places do, run on the financial year of April to March, basically.
Yeah.
So that's why you see a lot of releases that don't make the holiday get pushed out into February and March, like last minute. I mean, like the Mass Effects and a lot of EA does this quite a bit actually, because they need to get the games out for financial year to count them basic in their earnings. So if they're slipping past that, that either means that either they were really sure, like they're really sure that this isn't going to work. Like actually, there's a few things. It could be these games aren't going to be ready or in a state that they're going to be happy with to put onto current gen. They want to wait for next gen, or Cyberpunk is dropping in April for some reason. And realistically, they realize that there's not much point in competing when the other two things could also be true.
Yeah. Oh, hello, chair. Something keeps unplugging and plugging itself back in on my computer, and I don't know what it is. It's doing my head in. But, because I feel like, because the sound on my headphones is really good, I feel like it's coming from my computer screen, the noise.
Oh, right,
and that
yeah.
the microphone's picking it up. It's not, I hope, but it's absolutely driving me mental, sorry. Yeah, So the time frame they've got for these games is Q2 to Q3 of financial year of 2020 to 2021. So that would mean early summer 2020 is the earliest we'd see it. So, like, July, August.
Yeah, but and I still think that'd be too early.
Yeah,
realistically. I mean, like, typically this US summer when it comes to video games is basically dead. You get maybe one release a month tops.
Yeah, and I don't know.
And then realistically, when you're that close to new generation, I mean, because that's also when E3 happens.
Yeah.
So that's a great chance to announce a release date, announce that it's coming out on, launch day and date with a new console or whatever you want to do. I mean, I think it's a good opportunity for them to reassess, especially after how shockingly bad Ghost Recon was and how Division just really doesn't seem to be exciting people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do wonder about these big studios, like how many times do you need to get burned by releasing an unfinished game to know that you shouldn't do it again?
Well, when you just destroy the studio that does it. Easy.
Devour them.
Yeah.
You just kill them off, break up the studio, rename them, get them to do something completely different, and then blame them when the thing that they're completely unfamiliar with isn't successful.
And then get them to make DLCs for Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just... Anyway, it is what it is. It's a part of it now. All done with that one? Yeah.
Are you asking me or are you telling me?
Well, both. So the last article here is something...
You beat me to it as well. I was going to add this one too.
Yeah, no, this is good. I think it's a really good thing. So, title, Xbox All Access Console Deal offers upgrade to Scarlet, 24 months of Game Pass Ultimate. So I think we saw, was it earlier this year or maybe last year, they had the deals, the subscription deals, where you could get an Xbox One S or X for 24 monthly payments of, whatever it was. So
Xbox All Access was announced at some time.
I thought they already had a trial of it.
I think they did have an insider trial. Yeah.
Yeah. So this particular deal here, so it seems like quite good value depending on the price, but you get an Xbox, so you can get either an S or an X or an S all digital, but why would you do that? You get an Xbox wireless controller and 24 months of Game Pass Ultimate.
Which includes Xbox Live Gold.
PC. Yep.
And Game
includes
Pass
Gold
PC.
And PC. So they've got the prices here. Xbox One X, $30.99 a month in US dollars. Xbox One S, $22.99, and the S all digital is $19.99. So $20 a month for 24 months. What's that, $480 for an S all digital? Which is probably more expensive than you can buy one for. But when you factor in that you're getting 24 months of Game Pass Ultimate, which is what, about $10 a month?
15. I think 15 US.
Yes, sorry, 15 US.
Yeah, but if you buy a prepaid card, all right, let's say the 15.
It's 15 US.
So 15 would be 360, if my maths is correct.
And if
So
it's not
it's
correct,
cheaper than buying them separately. But I mean, that's a pretty solid deal.
Yeah, I remember when they started, because, yeah, you're right, they did do a trial of this originally with the S and the X before Game Pass was really a thing. And I remember the talk around that was, well, Xbox Live Gold, I guess I get some of this from it, but I think now with Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate being included with that, I think that really sort of tips it into, well, you might as well if you don't already have one and you can't afford to buy one straight out.
Yeah, and I remember a lot of people saying at the time it was like a very low barrier to entry. Instead of coming up with $400 or $500 for a console, you can, like getting a phone.
Yes.
You pay your 24 monthly payments and you got it. Yeah. So I think it's a really handy thing to get into the Xbox ecosystem.
The other specific deal that they've got going is... typically, they have an 18-month console upgrade option, so you pay for 18 months, then you can, you do 18 payments, and then you can get you can upgrade to a better
Scarlet?
console. Well, no, normally it's just a better console, so if you had an Xbox One S originally, after 18 months, you can upgrade to an X and pay... I don't know if it's necessarily the X price, but a slightly higher price, and you would keep the X instead.
Right.
With the current deal, they've lowered that for the One X to 12 months, so that when the Scarlet comes out, you've made at least 12 payments by that point. Assuming you started now, because Scarlet comes out in November, you're looking at December-ish, or as for your 13th payment coming up.
Yeah.
You can upgrade to a Scarlet from the One X bundle. You need to do a new 24-month contract, because these are all 24-month contracts. I don't know that they've specified the price for that.
I doubt it, because we haven't got pricing for the Scarlet in general yet.
Yeah. So upgrading to the Scarlet is subject to release and availability at the time you upgrade. Upgrade requires at least 12 payments on your original contract and a purchase of a new 24-month contract for Scarlet, expected holiday 2020. And you have to have started this contract before January 1st. So it's up to and including December 31st, 2019. This 12-month upgrade system is not available with the S, and they have not mentioned yet prices for the contracts with the Project Scarlet. I imagine it won't be too dissimilar than the X. I wouldn't imagine it'd be more than $40 a month.
No, probably not.
So
Yeah, because they're getting a little expensive on that end otherwise. I think this is... excuse me. One of the things that was talked about when the X and the PlayStation Pro were announced was that the consoles are potentially going the way of phones, in that sort of having instead of having longer generations, you have half steps or smaller steps between them, and you just upgrade. So it's like, you have 5 different Xboxes, all with slightly different specs, but they all kind of run the same OS until you get to a point where it doesn't, after some sort of level of obsolescence. This, I think, further cements that into, like, well, I'm on a 2-year contract like a phone. I'm making monthly payments like a phone, but I'm going to own it at the end of it, and I get to upgrade after a certain period of time, and I'm going to upgrade my decent model to the next big model. Yeah. It really... I mean, I don't see it being huge outside the US, to be honest, because I think that phone culture is more of a US-centric thing. But it'll be very interesting to see how many people take them up on that.
So, 12 months of your One X contract is going to be $371.88 for an X for 12 months. And see, I don't know if the Game Pass just is included so you're getting a monthly thing of Game Pass while you're paying, if that makes sense. So you pay your new month, you get a new month added, or whether they give you, I doubt they give you 2 years up front.
They might give you a year up front.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or actually, no, they roughly do them in a 3-month code, so you could probably get a new one every sort of few months or so.
Yeah, so I don't know that you'll get any more than 12 months of Game Pass Ultimate, but regardless, that's 12 months of using an X and 12 months of Ultimate for 371. That's Christmas present level, like reasonably cheap Christmas present level money for someone, for a parent, for a kid.
Someone's spending $371.88 on a Christmas present for me. They can be my friend anytime.
Oh, we're going to have long discussions about what Christmas present things happen.
Oh boy, you're like $371. Where's the rest of it? All right, man.
Yeah, that's what
making it rain. I was
trying to gauge your faces as I'm like, that's a pretty cheap, that's a reasonable, that's an expensive Christmas present.
Why would anyone buy that Christmas present? Depending on who you're giving it to.
Yeah, right. For kids though,
for kids,
my dad bought us a PlayStation 2. I think it was the year after it came out, so that was probably still 600 Australian, something like that. As a
parent, that's a good deal. I mean,
as a kid, that's a fantastic deal. Getting that from your dad.
Yeah. So you're locked into a. You do that for another 12 months after that is 740-ish, 743. Math 76.
Sure. I mean, I guess the only worry that you might have then is that you hope the Scarlet's good because you're really locked into it. Then you really hope it doesn't have any teething troubles or red rings or anything like that.
You just don't have to upgrade.
Right.
You could just stick with the X for another 12 months.
Yeah, but realistically, everyone's going to upgrade. I would immediately.
I know. I don't know why you would. I mean, I guess you could. Anytime after 12 months, you can. You're paying a little bit more, but you can wait a couple months, see if it's throw it in a dumpster fire levels of
wait
bad.
For all the beta testers to do their work.
Yeah, exactly. And realistically,
early adopters.
Yeah, realistically, when it comes out, you're not going to get as good trade value as you would on that anyway. Normally.
Yeah, I can't wait to get $5 credit for my Xbox One X Scorpio edition. If I'm lucky.
I was thinking about this again from a little bit out of the box kind of point of view. That's going to be creating jobs as well. This new Xbox console, the repo people for when you don't make your payments. Can you imagine this repo dude rolling up in Xbox green t-shirt, Xbox polo shirt, and knocking on your door and be like, "Hey, I've just come to repossess your Xbox One X console."
And he pulls up in a bright green tow truck.
Tow truck,
yeah, tow truck. He hooks it on and drags it through the house. They're really dense, those things.
Tackles it to the ground first, mace. Just covers it in mace and then throws handcuffs on it.
And then he goes, looks like I'm going to have to charge a refurbishing fee for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing but good. I don't see a downside to this. I don't see where someone could see this and go, "That's terrible. Why would anyone do this?" They could go, "Yeah, it's not for me. I don't need that." Or
have you
I
looked
have
at
a
the
console.
comments yet?
No, but
because on True Achievements you'll find someone who says that.
Yeah, that's because, yes, for me it's not worth it because I have a One X already and I have all that Game Pass. I paid more than an Xbox One X at launch was $500 US.
Yes.
Don't know. It was $650 Australian. I remember that.
Yeah. So it was 500, 550 somewhere around there.
So yeah, so you're saving plus 500. You're saving $120 doing this.
Yeah, from the launch price.
From a month-to-month perspective.
You could probably do a cheaper deal somewhere else. But look, this obviously isn't for people who are already invested in Xbox already, right? Yeah. This is for the casual people because Xbox needs to make up ground. They need to say, okay, well, we need to lower the barrier to entry to get people into this generation and lock them into the next generation, so they go with us instead of PlayStation.
Yeah,
and do it as easily and cheaply as possible.
Yeah. As
Makes
many
perfect
people
sense.
watching Mixer as possible.
Exactly. Gotta make that ninja money.
It's a ploy for Mixer. You got it. All right, Chin, tell us what's happened in GTASC this week.
All right. So the bonus for this week is on the team side, and that is, it's called Making a Difference. It is to end the scoring period with a ratio over 4.0, so that's your team's ratio. I think that's unrelated to the difference. So you could have one, you could have one achievement that's a 1-pointer and 4.0, so you have 3 achievement difference, and just bonus it up to hell, but probably
Good
not
luck.
going to work out so well. Probably not a smart move. Anyway, solo cutoff for last period 17, was 1009. Our solo limboer, close to the line but not quite, was Kush. Well, actually, that doesn't make sense because they go under the bar. That was bad.
That's fine.
bad
We've mentioned GTASC Limbo many times. I'm
Yeah.
sure they get the visual.
Kush Moose. Again, Limbo's just in my head. Reverse Limbo.
Da.
Kush Moose got 1,082 true achievement difference, 73 above cutoff. Our high flyer was Jimbot UK in 4th spot overall with 8,888 true achievement difference. I had to check this a couple of times because that's too good of a number. Like, something happened there that he wanted 8,888. Something. Why 8?
It could be a coincidence. To be fair, if he's at the top spot, realistically, he probably knows exactly where he was going to score.
Yeah. We have some people knocked out on the solo side. We have Nibirios, Mark B, Marsedge, who didn't deserve to go out, but someone that did, ProfessorPluto, he got eliminated.
Finally.
It's one of us now.
Now it's just you two guys left in the competition. What? No.
It's Professor Pluto, Mr. I'm never doing the G-Task and I'm only going to be here 10 weeks and drop out.
High achiever.
Accidentally stayed until what, week 17? What are we up to?
Yeah.
I did not try and stay
I was
in.
hoping
It
I
just
could get
happened.
eliminated at PAX, and I did. It's a lot of pressure off. Team side, we have our team cutoff was 3,998. Lowest team was Video Game of Thrones of Secular Forever, Zus, and Nibirios with 284 true achievement points above cutoff at 4,282. Our high team was Is This Team Leapfrog, Jimbot UK, Daniel JJ14, and Infamous in 3rd spot with 14,098 true achievement difference. Just one team eliminated this week, the team of the Unbearable Lightness of Backlog Definitive Edition, wouldn't count for random to-do list. Ben L72, Skeptical Mario, and ChinDocta. When this happened, Ben was like, sorry guys, didn't realize we were so close to the line, would have used another bonus. I said, wait, we were still in? ?
That's what she said.
Oh dear.
I'm trying to figure out a situation where she's saying that now.
Looks
Don't
like
think too much.
looks.
It just works.
Sometimes you're just not getting it quite across the line, and you need to pop a bonus
Big load of laundry.
to stay in.
Yeah. Just big laundry load. Alright.
All right, and we're doing something a little bit different with our review this week. So, Matt has played our review game, which is called Decay. So, Matt's going to take us through his thoughts on the game, and we're going to pop in every now and then with some questions for him about the game. So, Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit more about Decay?
Sure. So this week I've been playing Decay. It was published and developed by Shining Gate Software. And it's the second game in the Decay franchise or series. It came out 26th of July 2019, so earlier this year. and looking at $14.99 US if you're looking to buy it. TA has a completion estimate at about 2 to 3 hours, and it's got a pretty low ratio, so it's not a terribly long game. Took me a little bit longer than that. I think I was looking at more 3 to 4. If you played the Decay the Mayor, which was the previous title, you'll kind of know what to expect. It's a relatively static point-and-click adventure from the first-person perspective. So you basically go through a house or an apartment block, solving puzzles. Not quite to the extent of Monkey Island. Use the rubber chicken with a pulley in it on everything to try and figure out what it does, but it does have some interesting moon logic, and there's a lot of horror elements. It's a spooky game. Figured it was appropriate for Halloween. But yeah, so graphically, it's not much of a looker, I gotta say. If you played the original Decay, it's very, very similar. It's split into 4 different parts, and honestly, the graphics don't really get much better as it goes along. I'm not going to say it's asset flip territory, but you can tell that quite a few sort of basic models have been used to put the stuff together. So yeah, graphics wise, not much of a looker. Gameplay wise, though, I think it works relatively well. There are quite a few relatively simple puzzles. It's your standard point and click fare. There's some noughts and crosses in there for some reason. There's the standard, rearrange things. Look for the puzzle piece. Put things together. It's not. I wouldn't say it's super compelling, but I will say it does get better as you play through it. So the game is split into 4 parts, and originally it was episodic, with apparently quite a bit of time between each release. But on the Xbox, they've just sort of put them all together. So as you go through the game, you can actually see it getting slightly better, the technology improving, it getting a slightly tighter experience. I think it's the second episode, has you going to the developer's studio for a couple of rooms for some reason, which is very weird. Like, it's a very weird meta moment. There's no one in there, I don't think. But yeah,
is it meant to be like a fourth wall break or something?
Yeah, kind of. It's like, yeah, you go to Shiny Gate Software. They're on the 3rd floor, or the 2nd floor, or whatever it is. And you have to play the standard block breaking game, Arkanoid. We have the paddle at the bottom. And you got to bounce the ball and hit the blocks. And Brick Breaker, yeah.
Arachnoid, as some might call it.
Yeah.
That's not a podcast.
No one never did.
No one has ever called it Arachnoid.
You don't listen to a different podcast, then.
What are you talking about? I only listen to this podcast because I love the sound of my own voice.
Ow. Sorry.
So, yeah, but like, it's primarily a horror game. It has some jump scares.
Is it horror? Sorry, just to interject. Is it horror in that it has horrific themes in the game, or is it horror like it's full of jump scares, or what?
It's kind of both. Like, it's obviously a very horrific theme. There's a lot of themes around. There's a lot of dark stuff around suicide and a lot of blood and a lot of like torture and stuff. I mean,
and nighttime.
Yes, it's very dark. But
I don't like
it's
nighttime.
In saying that, it, because of how sort of rough the graphics are, it never really comes off all that scary. It just comes off kind of like, wow, that was a really poorly rendered jump scare that was intended. Like, there's a doll that keeps showing up, and it's the most weird, lifeless looking thing. Like, it has like bug eyes, and it just doesn't look right. Which it kind of adds and takes away from the effect of the game. I kind of can't decide whether that's what they were going for, or that's just kind of what they ended up with. There's some, for story wise, there's like a narrative around you are apparently Jim, and you're trying to figure out, like, apparently you're dead, but maybe not dead, and this guy has trapped your mind or your body or something. The game doesn't make any sense. Story wise, like, apparently this guy's like some sort of serial killer who runs a weird corporation, and you have to try and hunt him down by solving a bunch of esoteric puzzles that don't really make any sense. And yeah, like, it kind of narrative wise, like, it seems to, like, normally a lot of these games you have a lot of narrative where it's like, well, you can just ignore that, it's not important, and they don't draw attention to it. This game draws attention to its narrative all of the time. It stops you and puts a literal white ghost in front of you, and has an exposition dump that tells you, hey, this is what's happening. I'm like, oh, well, thanks for telling me. I don't understand any of what you're telling me, but apparently I'm this person, and my family are dead, but not dead, and they need to be saved, and if I do this one thing, they'll be saved, but they're still dead. Their bodies are in a ditch somewhere. As you go forward, the game doesn't make any more sense. So, what I wanted to mention, though, is that on the 4th episode, the last part, the game takes a bit of a shift in that originally what you were seeing is you're looking at statics, and you can move your cursor around the static screen, and then you can move back and forth between different screens. In the 4th episode, obviously, there was quite a jump. You can't move, but you can turn the camera completely 360 degrees. Which, I mean, like, I know that's, wow, amazing innovation, right? But it does actually change up things quite a bit in terms of puzzles and looking for stuff. It makes it so it's not just so cut and dry of, well, I'm just going to click everywhere on the screen till I find the thing that I'm looking for. You actually get a bit more dynamism to the game. But they also add collectibles into the last chapter for some reason. And then there's 8 different endings. Which makes no sense. Makes no sense to me. I mean, you only have to play the last chapter to get them. And you have to do 2 playthroughs to get all of them. You can get the first 2 on your first playthrough and the other 6 on the other one. But I still can't figure out what the endings mean. And I'm not really sure what the difference really makes. Essentially, you make a choice with a gun, whether you shoot someone or whether you don't, or that sort of stuff. And there's a bunch of variations on it. But they all seem to have very similar endings that don't really explain anything. And essentially end with a zoom out on a tombstone. And the tombstone has someone's name on it, depending on what choice you made. And that's literally it. And then it goes to credits. So I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on.
And then you went to Steam and looked up the lore of the
yeah,
game,
exactly.
Correct?
Yeah, I had my whole sort of Slender Man moment where I got deep into the online community of Decay fans.
Yeah. Any idea if this is sequel or prequel to Mare?
I'm not...
Or just tangentially related?
I think it's just tangentially related. I mean, like, it might be... It's definitely like same universe, different story, I think is the thing.
Yep.
But realistically, I mean, I don't remember much of the original game either because it was quite similar. And, yeah, it's just, yeah. I mean, like, it may very well be a sequel. It would make sense. Maybe it... Actually, come to think of it, maybe that is... Yeah. It might be a sequel, but I'm honestly, like, it's so tenuous that it's not very clear at all. Achievement-wise, you're looking at a relatively easy list. You can get pretty much all of them just by playing through it, except for the last chapter, which you'll need to do a few times. Get a few collectibles. There's 1 or 2 challenging achievements related to minigames that you have to do. So one minigame is a bomb defusal. You need to do it in under 40 seconds. It took me a few tries, but once you know it, you can actually do a move, pause, look at where the next move is, unpause, do it. And it takes a few tries, but it's usually pretty good. There's also a balancing across a beam minigame you have to do perfectly, which took a couple of tries. And then, of course, my absolute nemesis, the sliding tile puzzle.
Oh, great.
The classic. So, yeah, it's only a 9x9. It's only a 3x3, so it's only 9 pieces, so it's not too bad. And I got it the first time because he did 2 playthroughs.
5 pieces too many.
Agreed. Yeah, I got it the first time, no trouble. And then the second time, I spent like a good 10 minutes just looking at it, just being like, I don't know how I did this. I know logically there's got to be some easier way of doing it, but I can never wrap my head around it. So it did overstay its welcome a little bit, and some of the puzzles were a little more esoteric than I was expecting. Like, a lot of the stuff didn't make a lot of sense. But I mean, for $15, I think if it's maybe, I don't think I'd buy it for 15, but if it's on sale, it's a relatively quick completion. You can probably get it done 3 or 4 hours. There's a good walkthrough on TA you can follow. And I mean, maybe, and if you're sort of in for some easy achievements and a bit of a horror theme for Spooktober, it might be worth picking up.
Interesting. Apparently, it was a Xbox Live indie game that's been redone. It was originally episodic, so it would explain why there's 4 parts.
Makes sense.
Interesting. Yeah. I think I'll do that in the light. Is there a walkthrough? Is there?
Yep, no, there is a walkthrough and it's pretty good.
Okay, awesome. Easy. Yeah, I'll do that in the daytime. That's nice and bright for me.
Alright, well, Matt, do you want to continue on telling us what else you were playing this week?
Sure. So, we'll crack into the rest of it. So, yeah, as I mentioned, Decay. So I got all the achievements in that, relatively easy. I finished up Torment, Tides of Numenera, which I was talking about last week. Still a fantastic game. I wish I'd played it sooner, really. I mean, having a walkthrough helped a lot. But it's still, still 100% my kind of game. More talky-talky rather than shooty-shooty. And being able to talk your way out of pretty much any situation and using, skills and having interesting effects happen. You know, having things like when you fail a roll, something interesting might happen. Like, you might actually get a stat boost. Or the conversation trees branch out quite a bit, and the ending was really interesting, and the story was really good. Like, it was almost perfect. The only mark against it is the times where you do actually have to have combat. The combat is pretty janky. It is turn-based, which is kind of a departure from this kind of game. But thankfully, you can avoid it most of the time. There's only maybe 3 or 4 fights I had to do the entire game. But I would say follow the walkthrough. It's really good. Estimated completion time on that is 80 to 100 hours. I did it in 20, so realistically, I think it's because normally you need to do multiple playthroughs, but the walkthrough is really, really good around swapping out characters as you need them. But yes, I would highly recommend that. I think it was on sale last week, or previously. Otherwise, I'd say keep an eye out for it. You can get it physically as well, though. What else have we been playing? Steins Gate. So, finishing up the visual novel Treasure Trove. Steins Gate's a nice easy one for the most part. Basically, the entire game relies on you hitting the skip button until you get to a decision point where you can open your phone and reply to a text message and then keep skipping. I don't know who I'm replying to, but I do think it's very rude that I'm sending texts while talking to someone and just being like, "Hey, excuse me, sorry, I gotta send this text." Put the phone up in front of their face and go, "Oh yes, hi, yes, I need to watch this attachment of a video or some weird music or a weird Pokemon-esque frog thing that I'm trying to collect all the pictures of." I don't know. And apparently, the game's about time travel, and this I don't know, apparently, it's a really good visual novel in English, so I might just have to catch up. I might have to play through it again properly at some stage on the computer. Speaking of visual novels, I finished up the last one that I have, Root Double After Day's Crime, whatever the hell it's called.
Before Crime, Star, After Days.
Perfect. Yep, you got it.
What?
Not star as in the word, star as in, Shift 8.
Yeah, like an asterisk, yeah. So that game's trash. 100% trash.
So bad.
It's awful. One of the big things is that you don't make decisions as such in the same way that you do in a normal visual novel. You change a slider for each character.
Yeah, it's like how you feel about your character in that moment.
Which is and there's basically a right and a wrong answer, and most of the time you'll get the wrong answer, so just follow the guide. Again, the walkthrough. So, like I said, I put 20, 25 hours into Torment. That flew by. I put 13 hours into this game, and it felt like I was there for a year. Mm-hmm. It was such a drag. You have to replay so much stuff. I mean, I'm surprised I can't read Japanese by the end of this, considering how much of it I had to replay and see the same message over and over and over. Essentially, the problem is the achievements with the game is you need to get every bad ending, every good ending, and you need to see every single individual piece of dialogue in the game. So, you're essentially reloading. I think I made 80 saves by the end of it. It's also got 4 different routes. It goes on forever.
Yeah, there's before, after,
current,
root, current, and
double.
Double, yeah.
It's just, I don't get it. The first time, thankfully, the first time you go through it, through a route, when you go back to it, you don't have to do the slider anymore. You can just pick answer 1 or answer 2. Which is like, well, why didn't you just give me answer 1 or answer 2 if those are what you're after in the first place? I don't understand why we had to play this game.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever. I'm done. I'm out of visual novels. I've got a few Japanese games left that I need to do. But, I need to wait for, I need to figure out if I'm going to get some more of them, or if I'm just going to wait for Pluto to finish his ones in the next, 5 to 10 years.
I've got that box that's got, I don't know, 200 games.
The load of games.
I'm not going to play that many of them.
You think you'll play anything under 10 hours? 5 hours?
Probably under 5.
Okay. Send us photos. We'll tell you what's under 5 hours.
Yeah. Send photos of the box.
It's not even box of the it's of the disc. Send us disc pics.
Disc pics. Disc in a box.
Yeah.
Move on.
So
keep the disc in the sleeve. Send us a pic.
Okay. God damn it.
Can you see the picture on the disc through the sleeve? Like, is it a clear front sleeve?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine then. Just keep them in the sleeve. Send a disc pic.
Also has the manual that comes with the sleeve, with the discs.
Oh, that's
Some of
helpful.
them got manuals.
Okay. Like attached to them, or just in the box as well? Because if they're just in the box, that doesn't help us. Because you would then have to find the associated disc.
Yes.
Like.
No, they're all together.
Okay. All right.
They're all in the one sleeve. The
That
manual,
helps.
the disc.
Tarragon is very well organised.
He is.
He is. That's true. That is a fact.
So, just finishing up, I did... Now that I'm out of G-Task, I decided I was just going to do the Crackdown 3 title update with the wingsuit. Because, said screw it, Ratio Decay is going to hit me anyway. Actually had a bit of fun with it. It was only a couple hours, but most of the achievements are pretty easy. Oh, that is Eternal Sonata. That's Eternal Sonata. That's a long one.
Trusty Bell. Yeah, that's worth a fair bit.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a good game too. Actually, the 2 playthrough JRPG with tactical elements.
That one. AQ. Who's AQ? You'd have to send me a photo. I can't recognize that, but I'll be able to read it if you send me a photo. I can't read it just from here. My Chinese is not that good.
And then so just this weekend, it's been a long weekend. So it was Labor Day. So I decided I was going to start a new game, and I started playing Creature in the Well, which came out recently and trended to Game Pass.
So that's the pinball dungeon crawler.
Basically, yeah, it's it's kind of like a shmup, except instead of shooting things, you hit the balls back at the enemies, but with some weird pinball stuff in there. I had a lot of fun with it. Completion estimate was about 7 to 8 hours. I got it done in 5 hours exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not. It is. There is some challenging stuff to it, but once you need to focus on unlocking the optional items. So I was talking about this in the True Achievements Pro Discord actually, giving some tips around using the magnet catcher to draw the balls close to you, and then using the split edge axe to split them up as you hit them away to hit more targets. So basically the idea is that you are a robot who's turning on a machine, and there's a creature in the machine basically trying to stop you from turning it back on. And there's an entire... It lays the groundwork for a lot of interesting lore around. Apparently, there's a huge sandstorm that's wiped out most of the world. And this town of Mirage is in the middle of it, and they're trying to... The machine was built to essentially protect the town. But for some reason, the machine was never turned on, and this weird creature is hiding within the mountain, trying to sabotage it. There's a lot of interesting lore around how long this has been going on, and you're like the last robot engineer left. You just wake up. But my only problem with it doesn't really capitalize on any of it. it doesn't. By the end of the game, I didn't get any answers. Nothing was really explained to me. Like you fight the creature a few times, but it's like, okay, at the end of the game, like it's just kind of, it's still there. And it's like, well, what was it? I don't know. Why was it doing this? No idea. Why did the storm come? Who knows? Like, it just feels like it had the lost problem of just asking way too many questions that it didn't have answers to. But gameplay-wise, I'd highly recommend it. Yeah, it's another one of those pinball games. I guess I'm playing a lot of those lately. Excuse me. And then lastly, Monster Boy. The Cursed Kingdom, or whatever it's called.
Yep.
Side-scroller, Metroidvania. Great game. Like, really, really good. Really well-polished. Like, a lot of depth to it. Huge amount of collectibles and different items and abilities. And, like, there's a lot crammed into this game. A lot more than I was expecting. I highly recommend it. It's also quite difficult. Like, not, like, super, super hard, like, Meat Boy platforming difficulty, but there's some real challenge to it. Like, I've got 4 of the 5 forms. Oh, sorry, no, I just unlocked the 5th form, so I have 1 more to go. So there is a 6th form you get. But I actually had to bash my head against a few of these puzzles for quite a while to actually get the platforming just perfect. So it is very, very challenging. But I'd say almost as a perfect difficulty curve in terms of challenge to skill set. So bit of a busy week for me. 5,335 points.
All right, Chin, what have you been doing?
Well, I binged on easy stuff, starting with Thief of Thieves, where I played about 2 minutes of it, got caught in one stealth section, and went, I don't understand what I'm doing, and I quit. Like,
no achievements?
I got one. I already dived it ages ago, but like, I want to get it done before it leaves Game Pass at the end of the month, but I'm like, I don't, because the roadmap says, Act 2 you should be doing this, and Act 3 you should be doing this. So I look at the achievement guide for Act 2, and it says, you stealth and do this, whatever. So it doesn't tell me at all that that's the second stealth section of the game or something.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be super sneaky, and I'm trying to follow this guide in somewhere that is completely incorrect, because I'm not at all anywhere related to that.
Hit me up this week if you have time, and I'll walk you through it.
I'm sure if I just like went at it, but I was just like, you know what? Nah, I'm good. I'll come back to this later, maybe, because I think I was doing visual novels in the background as well. Speaking of visual novels, I got 3 done, and I'm working on my 4th that I got from Matt. Code 18 I got done, Ever 17, 11 Eyes Crossover, and I'm working on Chaos Head Noah. Other titles I completed this week include Never Out. Finished that one. That's really easy with the walkthrough. Just says, forward 3 times, right once, forward 3 times. So super duper easy. And I did 3 Ratalaika titles. Just Ignore Them, Super Boxland Demake, and Deep Space Rush. So Deep Space Rush is the most recent one, aside from the one coming out tomorrow. It's a run and gun where you basically, you just play it for like half hour and then you'll get everything done. The achievements are for purchasing a heart in the store, so a health upgrade, maxing out an item in the store, going through 100 zones and killing 100 enemies. Those are cumulative across playthroughs, so you can do one zone, die, one zone, die, one zone, die, and eventually you'll get it. But the zones are really quite short. They're like maybe 5 seconds long. So you just run, shoot, die, upgrade your stuff, run, shoot, die, upgrade your stuff, and within half an hour you'll have killed enough enemies and traveled through enough zones that you'll be done. It's super duper easy. Super Boxland D-Make is a puzzle game where you push boxes onto buttons, and there's, there's walls and stuff, so you obviously can't push them certain directions. Play it on easy, so then you get unlimited rewind. I think I had to use rewind 3 times in the 40 levels. It's a relatively simple puzzle game. I think there are video guides out there, but there's like maybe 2 levels that you might need it. I don't feel like there's that many where you need it. And just ignore them. I think it's the same developers as My Big Sister.
It is.
That was it was okay. It wasn't fantastic. Yeah, I don't think it was great. It's alright. I had the gun glitch on me on the plane, so I had to go back to my save. It
didn't show up?
It was there. I just couldn't pick it up.
Oh.
So I had to go back to the save that you'd made, which was like 10 minutes before, which wasn't a huge issue, but I was just like, oh, this is annoying. And then I went through, and I forgot a step as I was going back through because I wasn't watching. There is a walkthrough guide that I used, video guide. As I was going back through, I'm like, yeah, I know, I do this and this and this. I forgot a step. I forgot to go back into the room after I find my car battery gone and grab the lighter and light the fire. So I went straight to the washing machine to get my car battery. Couldn't use my key, obviously, because it wasn't time to do that yet. I went, oh, this save's buggered too. So I reloaded the save.
Oh, no.
I didn't delete that save, luckily, but I reloaded it and lost the 5 minutes or whatever that I had worked on that section. And then I was like, oh, right, the lighter. Whoops. So I did that. I still have to finish I Am Me and start and finish Skyfish Legend of the Hidden Temple, whatever that is from Radlaika. And then I'll have the sweep finally again. I still don't think there's that many people who have beaten one more dungeon, so I'll probably be one of the few to have them all completed. The other one I worked on a little bit was PC Building Simulator. I'm just slowly chipping away at this to get the $1 million. I got 100,000 recently. I'm trying to find an efficient way to do it. It's not very easy because, I mean, at most some of the jobs will give like $400 for a job, so maybe you'll get 1,000 a day. I was building PCs and selling them on the equivalent of eBay, and that was okay for a bit, but I don't know if the time that it takes me to build the PC whether that's more efficient than, so yeah, just trying to find an efficient way to do it, or maybe I just chip at it a little bit every day and eventually it gets done. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I did end the week on 7,190 Gamerscore, though.
Quick ratio check.
I've been playing games under 1.5, so it's definitely going to be lower than.
You've seen what I've been playing. I've been playing under that too.
I am at 1.5907.
I'm 5909.
1.7746.
Yeah, you're not part of this though, so go find your own friends.
Show up.
Right, no, fair enough.
Yeah, well, I'll just follow on from you talking about just ignore them. I actually really liked it.
Which says a lot, really.
Yeah, it does. I have good taste in games and you don't. So, like you were saying, it's made by Stranger, who did make My Big Sister, and that's what drew me into buying it. I really like that kind of horror adventure game. I found the guide online pretty good as well, the one that we've got on True Achievements. I think you were saying in the Discord that you started it after me and finished it before me.
Yeah, I was confused
I went out the
at
back
that. I didn't
to mow
realize,
the lawns.
Yeah.
I had to show Nicole how to use the whippersnipper.
Didn't know why you just left it. I was like, what? I thought you were just like, you got stuck somewhere.
It's a real struggle, yes.
Nah.
He just kept trying to pick up the gun for an hour. Like,
No, I had no problems with that gun. It showed up every single time. But yeah, the story, I really liked the story. And it was very much in the same vein as My Big Sister. So if you did like My Big Sister, it's like a shorter version of that game. I also played Woodle Tree Adventures? I don't know. The game is not good. It is rough. It is very rough. I was just playing some easy games to kind of get them finished and deleted off my console. Now that I'm over 400,000, I don't have to be careful what I play. I can just play whatever. It doesn't matter. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's just not very good.
It just is.
It just kind of exists. It's a 3D platformer. It feels very floaty and kind of weird to play. So it doesn't feel like it jumps quite right, and it doesn't feel like you move quite right. I really don't know how to kind of put it in words, but the achievements do work just right. They pop every time you need them to. There is no tracking, unfortunately, but you don't really need it. It's less than 2 hours and you're done. So I think, Chin, you warned me off playing this one. I didn't listen. I got it on sale, and I don't know if I regret it, but I'm not celebrating the fact that I played it. Yeah, it's okay. I think I gave it a 1 or a 2, 1.5 or something out of 5. But the game that I spent probably the most time on this week, Riddled Corpses EX. So I know that you really liked this game, Chin, and it's because you really liked it that I got it. I thought it was going to be a lot easier.
Me too.
Than it is as well. It is very difficult for me, and I think I'm usually not too bad at twin stick shooters, and I feel like, yes, that's the start of the game, but what I struggle to see so early on in the game is how it gets easier. Because when you upgrade your players, because there's multiple characters you can play as, when you upgrade them, you don't seem to get any more health.
No,
like
it's
3
only
hits
damage.
and you're dead if you don't pick it up. So, I don't know. I actually don't know if I'll be able to finish this game, because there are some achievements in there that I start thinking, like, was it get through all of level 4 without using a power-up? I'm thinking I'm going to have to grind for like 3 hours, get enough coins that I can buy 15 health packs, buy the 15 health packs, and hopefully I can make it through the entire level, getting hit less than 18 times. So that's my mental strategy at the moment.
I'm with you on that, Alex. It's so I put about 10 hours into the game by the end of it, which is a bit more than I think the 6 to 8 or whatever that you normally expect. Because
I think it's leaning on the 8 really. Yeah,
because I did a lot of grinding with you. Basically pick the character that gets double gold, and you just basically grind level 4 over and over and over again to get enough to level people up enough, because is it the 4th character you get once you've leveled up all the other ones, or leveled up the 3 other characters, you get the 5th or 4th character. That one has all the other
everything.
Has all of the abilities. Has the magnet, the double health, and the double gold. So you can just start destroying things with that. So that's the way I did it. But yeah, I agree. I had to bash my head against it for a long time till I finally was good enough to actually... I was leveled up enough to do enough damage, and I had all the perks with that character.
Yeah, and you want the turrets as well.
So what do the turrets do?
They're just extra guns.
Yep.
But do they follow you around, or do you place them and they shoot at
they're on
things?
your side, and they will shoot where you point.
Well, there's 2, because you got the turret that it gives you 1 deployment of it, and you can put it down and it'll just blast around the area.
Maybe I'm thinking of the MK1000.
Yeah, the MK1000 is what you're thinking of, is like an extra set of guns that follows you around and shoots with you.
You don't want the turrets. Turrets are trash.
Yeah.
Is it a temporary
it's
power,
permanent
or is it
upgrade.
always?
Permanent, and you can upgrade it. So that's the thing, is that like a lot of it's just grinding up and get enough gold to buy the good abilities, so you can just smash through it. Like I kind of treat it like a roguelite, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I found at the moment the best way for me to grind is just play level 1 all the way through.
Yep.
And I'm using the magnet girl at the moment, so that when you beat the final boss, all the gold just comes to you. So when I was using the regular character, I'd miss some.
Yep.
So I actually funnily enough, found myself running away from gold because I thought it was an enemy coming to get me at times. It tripped me out the first time. I was like, "Whoa, that dude's moving real fast." Yeah, like I said, I think your recommendation is pretty fair, Chin. It's a good game. It's very well made. It's distributed by Cowcat, who made Demetrio's Big Cynical Adventure.
Huh.
For me, that's a plus, but I don't know for other people if it will be. I liked Demetrio's, and I like this game as well, but I'm just finding it tough going early. But yeah, it's good. At least to know there's some good characters down the line and some good abilities. Maybe I will be able to get it done, because I certainly wasn't thinking that when I was doing my write-up today about it. I actually wrote a note here. How am I third with 4,105 Gamerscore? My highest Gamerscore in...
Got to bump those numbers up, buddy. Rookie
this
numbers.
year, maybe? I don't know.
Well, I saw it happening, so I played I played 5 easy games on the weekend, because I saw you playing easy stuff. I went, that can't happen.
All right. And your ratio is still lower than mine. Okay, good stuff.
It is. By 0.002, which is 2,000.
Doesn't matter whether you win by an inch or a mile.
Oh, yes, that's correct.
Winning
Doesn't matter
winning.
if you win by an inch or a mile, win is a win. I said that to you.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
It's all about the ratio. No. You definitely didn't say it to me first. Anyway, there's a sale that's gone live today. Chin, why don't you run everyone through what's going on, what's good?
Sure. Before that, I would like to mention how disappointed we are that Games with Gold hasn't been announced, and we can't wait for it to be announced in between recording and publishing of the show. Because, of course...
That's right. You'll just edit it in, right? Like you always do.
Yeah. Like I always do. Outside of that, we have 2 sales really going on. We have the Shocktober sale, which is some horror-y games, but I didn't go through them, so you're on your own there.
There's not much there, really. There was one, Home Sweet Home, I think, looked quite interesting, but that was pretty much the only one on there, which is a spooky game based on some sort of Thai mythology.
Yes, I have that. I have not played. I launched it.
Didn't
said no.
Didn't Tarragon and Planting
No, that's the ones we
review
found. Or the ones
I thought
we never
they did
found.
that one as well.
No.
Okay.
We never got... I got one. We never got one.
Okay.
Yeah, I've launched that once. I think I literally launched it, went, no. No.
Yeah,
Uninstall.
Doesn't seem like the kind of game you'd really enjoy, to be honest.
I need to make a pool and do like a 1-a-week horror stream.
You really should, actually. Patreon only.
Okay. As for the games in this week's sale, we have the Human Fall Flat and Steam Level Bundle, which is 50% off, $7.49. I will mention the Steam level is free, but this will just save you a click. So it's not... You're not actually saving any money on that particular level, but it will save you a click. The other thing is that in November there'll be a new level coming out, Ice. That will make the speedrun harder to do because it will be longer. So maybe if you've been putting it off, hit me up and I will help you or whatever. I think it took me like 90 minutes because I'm terrible at speedrunning water. But all the other levels is fine. Dark, and just... I can't axe jump, I'm sorry. I just can't do it. I don't even, what?
Yeah, I don't know how I did that.
Ascendance First Horizon, 30% off, $4.19. Beyond Eyes, 80% off, $2.99. The Adventures of Elena Temple, 40% off, $2.99. I don't know if this is a quick, an easy completion. I do know that there are ways that will make the completion easier. I think it's still quite easy if you use the tricks, but I don't know if it's like a, once you do it, it's cake, The First Tree, 50% off, $4.99, and Toby the Secret Mine is 60% off, $3.99.
Those last two are actually not bad games.
They are quite
The First
good.
Tree was that on Game Pass?
No, it wasn't.
No,
But
you just bought it.
I've got it downloaded and
I
I've
just
been meaning to
bought
start it.
Okay.
Yeah. Or you won it in a giveaway, maybe. Every time it comes up, you say...
I reckon I bought it. Yeah.
Every time it comes up, you say, was that in Game Pass? I say, no, you bought it.
Yeah, okay. I'm an idiot. So, there's an achievement in the First Tree that's really... I don't know, it's not that tricky, but it's a little bit tricky. The one where you've got to see the Easter egg for touching all the rabbits.
Yep.
Catching all the rabbits.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
the story? Yeah. You held up the podcast for that? Okay. Thanks, buddy.
It's an important story, right? And Toby the Secret Mine, the two endings, did
Easy
my
mode.
head in. But otherwise,
Easy mode.
good. They're both good games.
Easy mode. Yep. I am recommending from this sale the Metronomicon Slay the Dance Floor. It is 50% off and $9.99. It is a really good rhythm game mixed with an RPG. The music is solid. The RPG elements are pretty well presented. And it's a fun game. You'll enjoy yourself. And you know what? It's only one game. So it's only one thing you have to remember. Matt, what are you recommending?
So, sticking with the Metroidvania theme of Monster Boy that I've been playing, I've decided that I'm just going to go for 3 different games, all in that same genre. So, I'm recommending Owlboy, 40% off, $14.99. Not too difficult. Has a couple of challenging platforming sections. There's one really annoying mini-game you have to do where you need to control the cannon run. That's the only really difficult part of the game. The rest of it is just relatively simple. Great game. The Mummy Demastered, 40% off, $11.99. This is a WayForward digital joint, so it is technically based on the terrible Tom Cruise movie, but realistically, it actually plays more like the Alien game that was on the DS that they also did, where essentially you play a Marine who's going through, and every time you die, you play a different Marine, and you have to go and to get your power ups back or some of your power ups back, you have to go and fight a reanimated version of the person you were. It also has like an absolutely amazing like synth soundtrack that's just great to listen to.
Oh, I love synth music.
It's so good. It's like John Carpenter level almost. It's great.
Synth music always makes me think of like old school zombie movies.
Yeah, it's
like the original Dawn of the Dead. I don't even know if that has synth in it, but that's what it makes me think of.
And then another one is Mystic Bell, 40% off, $8.99. It's basically like, think Harry Potter, witches, but side-scrolling. It's a cute little sort of side-scrolling magic game. Not too hard. It does, spoilers, the final fight is if you get the true ending, is a robot punch-out with Cthulhu. So if that doesn't sell you, I don't know what will.
Why is he making an appearance and everything?
Oh, I know. Apparently he's just getting around. He's on an open contract this year.
He's just hocking himself out for money. Anyone will take him. Yeah. Well, there's nothing really for me to recommend. Beyond Eyes is okay. First Tree is pretty good, but nothing that I can really stand behind. But in terms of purchases, I thought maybe Ascendant's First Horizon for me this week.
Mm-hmm.
Same for me.
Looks a bit interesting, yeah. Kirby, what about you?
I have bought Light Fairy Tale Episode 1, Gift of Parthax, and I succumbed to peer pressure from myself, and in the Halloween sale purchased the Dark Pictures Anthology, Man of Medan.
Ooh, let me know how that is, because I'm quite interested.
Awful.
He's never going to play it. It's too scary.
Awful. But you need to buy it because I need a second person.
Okay, all right.
I think co-op is required and there's only online.
Got it. Okay.
Is that like we were here?
No, it's like Until Dawn.
Yeah.
Oh.
Except because it's on Xbox and Xbox doesn't have the motion sensor thing like PlayStation does. They've got like a heartbeat rhythm game where you have to like push the button in time with the heartbeat to keep you quiet essentially.
Interesting. Okay.
Is that like the Valiant Hearts minigame right at the end?
God.
Yeah, easy mode.
Oh, God, that was
just you guys are just bad at games.
Yeah. That's
I already said that in the song.
All right. And you were just looking at Ascendance as well, Matt?
Yeah, I just picked it up because it looks easy.
Yeah, it is. It is, especially with the walkthrough. Just, you don't have to, but it makes it easier because have you played Refunct?
I haven't. I haven't played it yet.
it's like that, but with Refunct, there is one clear next thing to go to. It's not always super clear with this one.
Right.
Like, there's 3 different things you might have to go to, but you can actually only reach one, but you can still see 3 things you could go to, and it's not necessarily clear that you can't reach the other 2, or something like that. It's
right. Okay.
I tried to do it without a guide, and I got it. Like, I got the first level done, but I was like, I don't know where I'm going from here. I missed where the thing rose from the ground to clearly indicate my next direction, and now I'm stuck.
Just not very well signposted.
Yeah.
Are there any speed runs in this one too?
No, there is collectibles, which is just collecting cubes, but it's, again, they're, with the guide, they're fairly obvious, and just completing all the levels.
That under 4 minutes speed run on Refunct was challenging, but really fun.
Yeah, it was good. How many attempts?
I reckon I was about 7.
Yeah,
6 or 7.
Yeah, that's the one thing that hasn't. Like, looking at that, it was like, I don't know if, like, every time I look at it, I'm like, I don't know if today's the day that I really want to bother doing this.
It was like 6 attempts after I did the, all the other runs, the under 33% run, the 100% run, and
yeah. So it was 7 attempts at that.
Yeah, 7 after those ones.
Yeah.
So like 7 actual goes trying to hit the under 4 minutes.
Yeah, but you had some familiarity with the map.
Yeah.
Okay. As for new games coming out, we have 2 very easy twin-stick shooters. Inferno 2 Plus, which is kind of like an adventure twin-stick shooter. Delta Squad, which is the new Ratalaika title. And on next Tuesday, we have the highlight of Chin's year, ever since PAX. Just Dance 2020 comes out. Yes, insert song here.
Let's kill this love. Yeah. Rum pa 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 pa. Let's kill this love. Rum pa 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 pa.
I don't know
Any
what
song on there that you're really looking forward to?
there is. I've inserted it here. I'm not telling you.
That's what that was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You can just listen if you want to find out. You won't know it, but you can listen.
Oh, well,
100. I'll put it in the Discord. 110% you won't know.
is it anything like those songs you've been putting in the Beats channel?
Bit poppier. Yeah,
Because I have not known any of those songs.
Nah, those are some musically gifted. I love Epic High. Epic High, you need to listen to the new album of Epic High, everyone. It's very, very good. It's a very big departure from their previous album. It's fantastic.
Which we've all definitely heard.
I think this is some of the best work they've ever done. And for, like, guys in their late 30s, early 40s, it's pretty good. Like, they've been doing this for 15, 20 years. It's good stuff.
All right. Good. All right. Well, we can move on then. So.
Oh, no. Before that.
No? Not yet.
No,
Okay.
just extra. If you have... now, I don't know what the game is. Chess Ultra, I think it is, with the 32-person tournament. Win a 32-person tournament. I'm organising sessions this weekend with alts and stuff. So if you want that, need that, let me know before this weekend, and if you can provide any alts as well, so then I can get that organised and get those set up so we can get it done as efficiently as possible. Thank you very much. Okay, moving
Just
on.
on that as well, we were talking in our Discord this week about doing the Secret Neighbour.
Oh, yes.
The game just
Yes.
out on... I know we won't do it this weekend.
We
but,
will definitely wait until it's
unobtainable
working.
specs.
Oh, they're unobtainable.
Oh, is there an unobtainable as well?
As far as we're aware, as far as I can see, because it doesn't look like no one's finished it yet.
No, it's just a buggy mess. Like, the servers are horrible. You can't... Unfortunately, you cannot get the achievements in custom games, which means you have to do matchmaking, which requires 6 people, and good luck getting
Right.
into. Yeah, that's the other issue.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll put a pin in that for a little while.
We
Then.
will. I would have loved to have done it because it wouldn't have been too difficult if
It would have been a lot of fun too.
if you could do custom games. Yeah, and we might just do custom games and play it legit because it's in Game Pass, and just because you can't get achievements, so there's no risk. So, we might just do that and have fun with the game. I doubt it because that sounds inefficient to my Gamerscore goals, but we might do it.
Playing a game for fun.
Crazy,
What?
crazier things have happened.
So, all right, we'll put a pin in that for now. But are there any knobs or discos this week?
Let me think. There's a big one. Everything
knob,
in
you say?
everything in Fortnite's dead. Ever since Season 2 launched, all of the achievements in Fortnite are broken.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Has anyone finished Fortnite yet?
Yeah, there's plenty of people that have, I think.
Plenty.
By plenty, I mean like 3.
Have
51.
you seen the achievements?
51 people.
Okay.
I mean, out of 64,000, but still 51's, I would say, pretty good given how grindy it is.
Yeah, there are a lot of grinds there. That is.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's still sitting on a 7,000 TA.
Yeah, I'm going to give that a pass, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. A hard pass for me as well. All right.
But I hope you enjoyed the black hole. Because that's where all the achievements went.
Saw kids outside their houses for a little while. I didn't know what was happening. All right. So some milestones to go through this week.
There are. Well, yeah, milestones on it. Okay. Oh! I definitely forgot a community question. 110% did. If as we start to close it out, I'll remember, I'll put it back in, and then we'll go back to it, definitely. But for milestones, Professor Pluto has reached a pretend milestone. He has a fake completion percentage of 92%. I don't know what his real completion percentage is, but his pretend one is 92. So,
91.9.
congrats, you're well done.
That's not going to be a thing.
It is for your crap, yeah.
It's not. It's not a thing.
Prue has reached a new milestone of 650,000 Gamerscore. Matt vs. Game has reached a new milestone of a tier ratio of 1.9. Koosh Moose has reached a new milestone of 200 completed games. I remembered the community question, so we'll get back to it after milestones. Zombie Goons GS has reached a new milestone of 5,000 achievements won. Cavaliers 07 has reached a new milestone of 500 games played. And Tatey has reached a new milestone of 16,000 achievements won. I can't do the rest because I'm in here.
All right, Ben L72 has reached a new milestone of 500,000 TA score. Jimbot UK has reached a new milestone of 1750 games played. It's quite a few. ChinDocta, never heard of him, has reached 24,000 achievements won. Jimbot UK, again, has reached 750,000 gamer score. Freemhole has reached 300,000 gamer score. Jimbot UK is now in the top 50 True Achievements leaderboard for the Xbox One. And McLovin Legend has reached a new milestone of 19,000 achievements won.
So was my 24,000 achievements, was that in all achievements won or just achievements I own?
I'm probably going to say achievements you own, right? That's
really like a very bad attempt at having a dig at me. That is not good.
It's alright. My
What's the
milestones are
question?
real, that's all.
So am mine. What's the question?
The community question was, and you guys can pitch in if you want, but I don't think you'll be of much help. Is from Falafel 77, Falafel 77,
right.
Falafel.
Who listens to the podcast probably.
It's midnight and I'm suddenly starving for.
Yeah, Falafel 77 asked me in a Discord because he gets confused between roguelike and roguelite, and what's the difference.
Yeah.
And I briefly explained it as... Go.
I know what it is. So one of them is like a rogue game, and the other one is a light version of a rogue game.
Well, technically, both of them are like it.
One of them's like it, and the other one's a light version of it. That's exactly what it is. Okay. Thanks for the question, Alpha77. Really appreciate it.
No, that was Falafel 77. Epileptical.
Sorry.
Epileptical 77.
Yeah.
Thanks, Falafel77, but I prefer a lamb kebab.
Again, it's midnight. I'm starving. What are you doing to me? So,
right.
Definitely not talking about mixed kebabs.
No, chicken's the way to go.
Chicken and lamb.
I mean, I can go for a chicken and lamb. I'm not gonna shake a stick at a chicken and lamb.
Now, by
This is
kebab,
the important
do you
answer
mean
to
meat
the
on a
question.
stick or like a gyros?
No, like a gyros.
Gyros, yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
don't wasting time around skewers. So as far as I'm aware, the differences are... So Rogue is the original game where you enemies move when you move, and a game that is similar to that is a roguelike. And so...
Yeah. So, yeah.
So it's like, was it Dungeon... Was it Dungeon... No, Quest for Dungeons was basically a roguelike?
So, yeah. Rogue wasn't necessarily the original, but it's the one that sort of sticks into people's minds the most.
It's the codified.
It had randomized enemies and map layouts. So every playthrough was different, and there was no progression carried over. The only thing you carried over was your knowledge. So knowledge of these enemies are weak to these attacks or whatever, this sort of stuff.
It's also brutally hard.
Brutally hard, dungeon crawler, and that was Rogue, the initial. Rogue likes are essentially games with randomized gameplay and randomized enemies, not necessarily bosses, but they can. All those randomized with zero carryover. So you carry no progression. If you ever carry progression, it is not rogue-like. Typically, unlocking things wouldn't be considered roguelike either. So if you unlock a character that is stronger, so Binding of Isaac, assuming you started a run, like assuming you didn't start a run with items, which I can't remember if you do or not, you still unlock characters which are different. So that technically would fall under roguelite.
Like Ziggurat.
Ziggurat, yep.
Ziggurat's a great example.
So,
yeah.
Roguelite is basically similar to Rogue, but doesn't necessarily have all of the randomization and has some progression carryover. So, of the big umbrella of... So, just in the same way Metroidvanias typically tend to be under the platformer umbrella. So, most Metroidvanias tend to be platformers. Roguelikes will all fit under the roguelite umbrella because they'll all have... I mean, that randomization is built into the roguelike, therefore it meets the criteria of roguelites, but it also then allows for progression carryover, whether that's money to buy upgrades to make you stronger, like in Riddle Corpse's EX, like in Rogue Legacy, whether it's unlocking characters like in Binding of Isaac or Steridon, things like that. Unlocking shortcuts is something in a specifically roguelite, and that tends to be within the game itself, not necessarily from like a menu. So skipping to starting at level 3 from the start menu would sort of nullify that being a roguelite.
So Dead Cells is another good example.
Dead Cells is a great example. You start off the same. You start every run the same, just without anything. You enter a room and get 2 randomized weapons from the pool that you've purchased. As you kill enemies, you will obtain their cells. You can use them to unlock items that would be placed around in future runs, or to unlock abilities or stuff like that. And the bosses are stagnant, and for each difficulty level, the enemies within the level are stagnant. So level 2 will always have enemy XYZ. Level 3 will always have enemy A, B, C. But the layouts will be different of the levels, and the enemy placements will be different. So that would be roguelite. If there was no carryover, you always started with your starter weapon and shield, and like you anything you purchased was for that run only. That would be roguelike.
And then
Do we have separate genres on True Achievements for those? Because I
No.
can see we've got roguelite.
I don't think we have enough roguelikes to need a second genre, and it would also be a roguelite.
yeah, it falls under the same category because
It would go under that umbrella, so it's just
Yeah.
it's like how racing has arcade and simulation racing.
Yeah,
They're both racing games, but
I think
Yeah.
I think part of muddying the issue is that a lot of those elements you get because you have roguelike, you have roguelite, and then you have roguelite elements. In the same way you have like RPG elements. So it's like, for example, like permadeath is usually seen to be a roguelite element because
death where you lose all your items and you're starting over from scratch. Yeah,
exactly, or something along those lines. Yeah. Whereas in the same way that sort of Borderlands has RPG elements because it has leveling and a skill tree. But most people wouldn't call it an RPG. You'd say it was a shooter.
Yeah, my least favorite, and unfortunately they do exist. I disagree with them strongly, but I accept that the team that I'm on has decided as a whole that they fit are the survival, quote unquote survival roguelites, like Don't Starve, Flame in the Flood, where for me the randomized elements are not based on it being a roguelite, it's more based on it being a survival game. Not that survival needs to have random, but that the randomized plays into it being a survival game more than it being a roguelite. For me.
Sure.
The team as a whole hasn't, but
I can see that.
I see both sides. I just would prefer them not in my genre.
So you don't have to play them.
The thing is, I have like one more achievement and I have one more achievement and Don't Starve to go. So it's not like it's not benefiting me to have them in there, but it is what it is. It's unfortunately, it is very difficult to discern elements from light these days. So, and one of the only ways to discern it is by playing. It's very hard to watch a video that isn't 4 or 5 hours long to make sure you're getting multiple runs, and to be able to discern whether it's just elements or whether it is properly fits within the genre. Or it's not fun, and I get to, and they're expensive. They go, oh, it's roguelite elements, so therefore replayability, therefore we can throw it up for $20 to $30 and call it a day. Really, your $6 game without the randomization is worth $25 with it? Okay. Alright. Gotcha. If you have any more questions, let me know. I probably did an awful job of explaining it, but hopefully it's cleared up some of the muddiness, so that's just like a temperate mud, not like a swamp.
Clear as mud. Yep.
Yeah. And that's gonna be. I would like, thank you for the question, Elephant77. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, we will wrap it up and send us through the outro. So if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can send us an email to hello@realgamerscore.com. You can find us on Twitter @realgamerscore. The Discord invite link can be found at discord.io/realgamerscore, and you can find our Patreon page at patreon.com/realgamerscore. And if you would like to write in a question to the show like Eliphalet77, you can definitely do so, and we'll answer it in the next show. You can help us out at the podcast by subscribing on iTunes and the other platforms you listen on. You can leave us a review, which we will read out on the show. You can tell your friends about us, retweet us and interact with us on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube and on Patreon if you desire. Matt, if anyone wanted to get in touch with you and say, oh boy, it's late, where would they find you?
Probably in bed because it's like midnight and I'm tired.
I thought you were going to say that.
Yep. So don't talk to me. Absolutely. I'm way too busy to be interacting with any of the people in our Discord or on True Achievements or on Xbox, where you can find me as Neomaster.
And Chin, if someone wanted to find you and talk to you and say, I really like your hoodie,
they would have to first purchase Spider Solitaire F, and then gift it to me, of course, because...
What is Spider Solitaire F? Is that a game on
it's
Xbox?
a new game that literally just arrived. We just picked up the list.
Okay.
Yeah, Spider Solitaire. Awesome.
Chin
Cool,
demands
cool.
tribute.
I do. And then you can find me on Xbox.com, on True Achievements, on Discord, on Twitter, on Mixer, at all under the handle ChinDocta. That's ChinDocta. You can find me on Twitch under ProfessorPluto1. That's Professor Pluto with a 1 at the end. That's the number, not the word.
Yes, it's a very important delineation there. Thank you.
I
You
do
can find
post lots of just Dance videos of girls doing Just Dance. If you're interested, if you don't see them up on a regular loop, complain, report the channel, because that's my content, and if it's not there, then that's the best way to notify me, because then Twitch sends me a message saying, you got reported again, buddy, where's your content gone? So, don't worry, we have a working relationship. Alex, how do people get in touch with you?
Well, when you report the channel, I'll be able to get in touch, so that's fun. But you can find me on Xbox, you can find me on Mixer, you can find me on True Achievements, and on Twitter, all under the handle Professor Pluto. Alright, episode 65 is finished. Thank you everyone for taking time out of your day or night to listen to us. We really appreciate it. We'll see you in episode 66. Thank you.
Cheers.
Goodbye.